So we have an announcement today coming from the Conservative Party of Quebec. We were wondering perhaps who they might decide to run in some Anglo ridings on the island, because Eric Duhaime, we've spoken to him before, said, they want to have some representation here. Today we found out their candidate in the Darcy-McGee riding is going to be Bonnie Feigenbaum, Hampstead City Councillor, and a longtime Liberal supporter, which is what we want to ask right off the top. Bonnie, first of all, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Let's start off by talking how a longtime Liberal, including being on the Liberal board since 2014 in that riding, makes a decision to go to run for the Conservatives.
Well, like I said today in my speech, the Liberals, they don't represent me anymore. My values have remained constant, and I feel the Liberals have shifted. So I went to look for a place where I could feel at home, and I found the Conservative Party.
I want to ask one thing, because in reading the piece that was posted in the Suburban, it struck me that you're not happy with the way things have been handled in that particular riding, right? Because they had announced a candidate. You weren't aware of it till there was a media leak.
Yeah.
Is there some sour grapes involved here as well, just not happy with the way things were handled?
Well, this is not the first time. Listen, I want to tell you, I adore David Birnbaum. I've said over and over to his face, I think he is one of the most genteel men in politics. But Lawrence Bergman was supposed to run in our riding. The truth is, and you can fact check me on this, his pictures were already taken. And they just told him while he was on vacation resting up for the run that he was not going to be the candidate.
Oh, boy. And
the whole Liberal board, the president at least, I can't say the whole board, resigned. So although I felt at that point in 2014 that the Liberals were our best chance of a government, I supported David in my riding, I wasn't happy with what happened. And to do it again, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's democratic.
Okay.
So then, as you're looking at Eric Duhaime and the Conservative Party, I mean, on the whole, very different values. When you say you're just liking what you're seeing, can you tell us a little bit more specifically? What is it that is appealing to you?
Well, look at the website. It's the 5 values. Individual rights and freedom. With every right, like Spider-Man's Uncle Ben always said, comes a responsibility. We are to be treated as adults and expected to act correctly. And we should have a free market economy. And, I see nothing wrong with that. Live and let live. What is the problem? I'm like, that's great. That's what I tell my children. Be self-sufficient and be respectful of everyone.
There have been some questions, and we've had Eric Duhaime on our show a few times. I know he's been on the station a couple of other times as well with Elias. And I think the word crazies has come up with respect to some of the candidates who originally decided to run in that party. A lot of people look at that and say, okay, I like Eric Duhaime perhaps, but some of the choices for candidates and some of the ones who've been forced to leave and some who have not been make people question whether this is really a party that is anything beyond just its leader. But you don't think that way.
Well, look, first of all, this is Canada, and we're supposed to talk and converse and respect everyone's opinions. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I want to not work with you. I don't agree with everything that my husband, that my partners in business have done, but it doesn't mean I close off the conversation. We have to work together to build understanding and to build our province together, to build our communities. The statistics, Eric just spoke about it today. The same statistics of candidates, 30% Liberal, 14% CAC, I believe, and 30% on our party, yes, have had some more outlying, if you will, outlier commentary. But that doesn't mean that we can't still talk.
Yeah, except if you're going to vote for someone, so you want your values to align with the candidate, and I can't help immediately. I think the choice to run a pro-life candidate in NDG to me is very strange, and I just think when you're going to vote for someone, you have to have similar values.
Okay, well, let me just say right off the bat, I'm pro-choice and I'm Jewish. So in my religion, my choice would not be accepted. Does that mean that everybody who doesn't agree with me and my religion is crazy? No. It means that I value their opinion, and hopefully they'll let me live and let live as well. So, I think that we're allowed to disagree, and we're also supposed to work together. The great thing about this party is the free vote system. They not only expect each of the citizens to adult, but they also expect their deputies, their MNAs, to adult and really represent their riding. If I don't agree with what my party is proposing, as long as I'm transparent and open and tell them in advance, and when I say I don't agree, I mean it in the way that it doesn't appeal to my riding, it doesn't serve my constituents, then I have the freedom to vote against it.
But you're comfortable running in a party that has some candidates with, as you described, like outlying views with regards to vaccination, and I mean the list goes on.
Yes, I have. Okay. I think. Listen, I work in statistics, so we can't say with 100% certainty that we have not all been guinea pigs in an experiment. That we have been given a risk-reward type of alternative, and I think that everybody should have the free choice to participate in that experiment or not. But let me just say, I had COVID. I haven't smelt a cup of coffee since March 13th, 2021. So, and I'm triple vaxxed at this point. So I know it exists, and I'm fully cognizant of the ramifications of it.
So you have been vaccinated, but of
Yes.
course, as Natasha just said, within the party, there have been those promoting misinformation, conspiracy theories, but you're perfectly okay to be part of that party because you should say, live and let live. They can think what they think. I think something else.
I think that everybody is responsible in a participatory culture like the Facebook Society is to validate the information that they're posting. I would never post on my page as anything that isn't 100% credible and validated by the correct sources. When I'm in the room with all of my colleagues, I will encourage them to do the same.
I read your piece in the Suburban back in July as to why you joined the Quebec Conservative Party. It's kind of interesting. Could you maybe just briefly tell us what compelled you to get into politics in the first place?
I got into politics when I moved into Hampstead, and we lived right next to the pool. And my daughter was quite young, so we basically lived at the pool. She actually thought it was her backyard pool. And one of the lifeguards, the head lifeguard, big 19-year-old boy, comes up to me and shows me all the bruises on his back. He had just been hit by a car as he came to work into the parking lot. And right away, I said to myself, "Oh my goodness, it's a 19-year-old. He has the upper body strength. Look what happened to him. What happens if it's a 9-year-old kid? What happens if it's my kid?" And I started going to council meetings to ask for more security and traffic calming measures. And, when you start complaining, you get nominated to be on the committee. So I started representing Hampstead on the traffic committee. Then, unfortunately, we got merged. I fought against the mergers. I worked on the Hampstead, Côte St. Luc, Montreal West Recreation Committee for the 4 years that we were merged. I worked on the successful demerger committee in 2000 up until 2004, and then you have to put your money where your mouth is. If I said we could do it better on our own, I felt I had to be in the game. So I ran for Hampstead City Council in 2005.
Okay, we're going to run out of time, Bon. I did want to ask you one other thing. As I hear you talk about the fact that others who you may disagree with, who have differing opinions, they should be heard, and I know Eric Duhaime has said that within his party. That's what I want. But I wonder, if you're going to run, would you have considered running as an independent?
Wow, I honestly never considered that. To tell you the truth, I was very, very hesitant to go back into the political life. I've been retired for 5 years, let's say. But I sat down with my very good friend, Marlene Jennings, and she said, "You've got to get back in. You're talented, and you've got to try to make things better." And I think Eric is the person to work with.
And was Marlene disappointed that you went conservative rather than liberal?
Marlene was encouraging me to go conservative.
Interesting.
And not one of the other parties. There are two other provincial parties, both against Bill 96, both against Bill 21. Did you consider them at all?
I looked at them, but I think that we have to. I think that a party that is as established as the Conservative Party is the one that has the best chance to make a difference.
Okay. Bonnie,
across the province.
I thank you for the time. We wish you good luck, and hopefully have a chance to chat again. Bonnie Feigenbaum, the Conservative candidate in Darcy McGee. Thank you.